Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a quorum.
We have an interim.
Yeah, you get over here.
We have an interim there.
Well, who's the council president? Isn't it Scott?
It's
Yeah.
Scott.
That means Julie's vice president.
Yeah, Julie. I think you made the motion for Scott, so you're at.
You wouldn't like the way I read it.
So there's no gavel.
Couldn't be any worse.
Oh boy.
There's something cool that I don't know about, that we don't know about.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys have everything else you need?
They holding this at the brewery?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. I say you should let us know if they do.
I guess they are. Yes.
This is a pretty big packet.
Oh, don't get me.
But just FYI.
Okay, thank you.
It isn't broken down into different funds and stuff, and so some of them there's really no changes.
Oh, no.
I still wanted you to see it.
No.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go over this, though, right? Line by line.
No, we're not going line by line. I'll hit the high points.
Okay. Good job. Okay.
I just text him. Yeah, call him.
Is Scott not here?
No.
I never know when he's here.
You call Jerry. I'll call Scott.
Can't we start without him?
We can.
I think we just go on and start. They can catch up when they get here.
Let's call the meeting to order.
I call the meeting to order. Let's get going.
Wait, hold on, because we got to start the video and stuff, right? When you start the video, and what about the voices?
Yeah, we're good. We're live.
We're live now.
Yep, we're ready to roll.
Okay. All right, so we'll get started. This is the budget workshop. We're going to start with the general fund. Most of these, a lot of these are assumptions that we've been making. Matt and I were working through a lot of this today. For the budget that we're proposing, it would end the year with the 27 year with a $286,973 ending budget. What we're going to, one of the things is we still have tax credits for the community center here. So one of the things I did was kind of reach out and try to figure out what is an average percent for the tax credits that we could potentially receive. On that, basically they're saying anywhere from 85 to 90% we would receive that back as the tax credits. So I went on ahead and figured the 85%. I'm just figuring on the low side. If it goes to 90, it's better for us, but that figures out that we would get $385,776 back, is how that would work from the tax credits. So how that would end our 27 budget year, we would end at $672,749. So when you look up at the top of this first page, you see the 685,854. We're about 13,000 off of being in fund policy. So I just want to state that out the gate. Once this is a proposal too, for those that are listening at home. So then we'll just kind of go through the different assumptions that were made and the different purchases from this account. So if you go to the fourth page, that's the 01 admin. Basically, assumptions on this was increased by roughly 5% year over year. But as far as big expenditures, there is nothing in the O1 admin. As we go to the next page, the O2 Public Works account, we have a couple. We did one, the standard, 5% increase, but on line 3340, increased the asphalt cold patch from 50,000 to 77,500. And then also on line 4810, equipment purchases, there's built in for a truck, but we would put that truck on a lease purchase for 5 years. So those are the changes on the public works side. And as we go through these, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate, ask me. As we go into the next section, the parks 03, pretty much everything in the parks area is going to be the standard 5% increase. But we did bake into line 4999. That's in other capital outlay, $10,000 for the Spring Creek Lake. And outside of that, nothing else was changed outside of the normal, 5% increases. As we go into the fire department, 04 fire, pretty much everything is baked in the same as the normal 5%. I feel like a broken record. It's, but we break in the 5%. We did increase the 2540, which is vehicle repairs. It went from 15,000 to 20,000. A lot of the stuff that we, the fire department has, it has to be inspected and has to be worked on by certified individuals. It's really a niche market, and as prices have gone up, it's costing us more to, make sure everything is correct. So that was one of the changes. You go to line 4810, which is equipment purchases. We have it baked in there for 25,000. That is to replace the fire hose, as well as purchase some bunker gear. Those hoses, they have a pretty good lifespan, but we still need to replace them over time, and we have some that are coming to the end of their life expectancy. So,
did his tire budget go up at all? Because I know
so that was some of in the vehicle repair.
Okay, that
is
vehicle repairs
is part of that
for his ISO rating, or
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Did we go up $5 an hour for PRN or like the as needed employees?
We haven't done that yet. No, that's not baked into this one.
This one just assumes a 5% the wage increase, and it won't apply to this budget, obviously. But when we do have the only different assumption we made for personnel costs was 15% for health insurance, which goes up quite a bit more. And again, that's kind of standard practice.
Yeah.
Well, I know we talked about maybe raising it from
as needed rates, so that way we could get
those part-timers possibly. Is that not?
And raise the ISO rating hopefully to 2.
So I could try to come back and bake that in.
He said it was 10,000 is all it would cost to do 2 with a raise of $5 an hour to actually.
Yes, I mean we should be able to find 10,000 to be able to do that.
Okay.
Let me just add that in here right as I go right now.
I think that was one of the major things he said he could think of that would raise us, because we almost hit ISO rating of 2 last time. When he say every 4 or 5 years they do it. So he said, one of the things that we could do this next time to hopefully hit that ISO rating of 2 and save property insurance for everybody in town is by getting those employees.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that ends that's the end of the fire department. Then we go to the police department. 05. We increased the training to 18,000. Also increased the maintenance service agreements from 11,000 to 14,700, as well as replace the camera system down on item number 4011. And those are the only additions. Everything else is like baked in at like 5% for the police department. The next one is the 06 pool budget. Everything is pretty much, status quo on this. Everything assumes pretty much a 5%.
Is the cost of the backup generator or the backup pump in there?
No, I think we paid that out of this year's.
We paid for that out of this year's on the equipment. We had a equipment purchase line that we had enough funds to be able to pay for it outright this year.
We've already bought a backup pump.
It's already in there. It's already in the room.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And a repaired one also.
And they're repaired too. Yeah. So the pool stayed the same. The 07 court budget really basically assumed, roughly a 5%. There's a couple different things. We bumped up a little bit more just to kind of stay in line with what the actual costs were. Then you come over to 09. The next one is 09, economic development. This is where we do have some cuts. You'll notice line 2850, currently showing 36,000 for the chamber. The plan is to cut them down to 16,000 for next year. And we would buy the $1,000 membership as well as, 15,000 for the chamber. One of the things also on here is that we would not be doing the 15,000 to the economic development group. One other thing on here I just want to note is that on the 4007 economic development, when you look at this, on the forecast, it says you see the 541,584. So one of the things is I want to make you guys aware of is that's part of that MIH grant for moderate to low income housing. It comes in, it shows as income, but it is really just a pass through.
Yeah, so
We are the
I'm going to try to find a non-budget fund to let it pass through instead of going through general fund because it all washes out because it's 500,000 on each side. But
Right.
for purposes like this, it's kind of inconvenient.
it gets kind of messy, but it's
And it hits budget authority, which
correct.
is going to hurt for the year end. We have to amend the budget to deal with that, and I'd prefer just to find a different place to have it pass through.
What's the thought about decreasing the chamber?
One of the thought process is that we're having to look and analyze each of the different areas that we're currently giving funding to, and make some really tough decisions on as we move forward. The main goal was truly not to raise the property tax rate for the citizens, and that was one of the ways of getting there.
Are those the only two that we give annual contributions to?
There's also the Maple magazine and the Maple Weekly.
How much do we give for them?
That's 6,000 a piece. That's 12,000. So basically, between them, the EDC, and the chamber, that's a savings of 47,000.
Oh, Scott. Welcome.
So,
Sorry, I'm late.
and like I said, these are all proposed. You guys can decide, at the end of the day what you guys want to do with them. But these are some of my recommendations. So then we'll go into 10, the IT. I mean, it's pretty much the same, just assuming the 5%. We look at the 03 cemetery fund. Pretty much we're the same assumptions with the 5%. The only thing that's different is that on 4810 is the purchase of a truck, and we would do a lease purchase for 2 years or potentially 3 years, depending on what we needed for final budget. And then we would go to 35 planning. This is pretty much the same, just the 5%. There's really no overall changes. And that takes care of everything that the general fund encompasses. And then we would go on to the utility funds. Does anybody have any questions about the general fund?
It assumes a flat mill levy from what was adopted in 26, 29.155 mils.
Okay. All right. So we'll go on into 11, the electric fund. If you look up at the top, basically to be in fund policy, 15% for at the end of the next year for 27, we'd have to be at 936,811. With how we have figured this budget out, we'd be less than that. We'd be about 905,810. That's assuming that we raise, say 2.3% for MCI come January. So we'll go through the electric part of it. So on 24 electric generation, pretty much everything is the 5%. The main thing is line 4650, generation equipment. We've got 262,800 baked in there. That is for the substation maintenance. That is to basically rebuild the Newton substation. And that's also for a lease purchase for a pickup truck.
You can see how big of an impact that 250,000 is going to have on your year-end bottom line, but you're still very close to your 15% reserve with spending that. So.
Then we go into Fund 25, electric distribution. In line 4810, you'll see where it's baked in. That's going to be for a truck, a lease purchase on that, 18,500. That's for basically 5 years. I still have 500. We've got it for 500,000 that we don't have baked into this budget that I think would necessarily potentially be a bond for building out the rest of the electric from the substation to tie it back into Baker. That is one of the things that we had originally planned with the substation, but once all that was approved, the funds didn't cover the full cost, so we had to start cutting some of the costs. So that was one of the first things that got cut. Then we go into Fund 26, electric administration, pretty much the same. No real changes. Electric acquisition, we had some changes because, we dropped off some for, GRDA. We went from basically $1 million contract in 26, it'll be like to 600,000 in 27. Then that's it for the electric fund. As we go into the water fund, with where the water fund is if you look up here at the top of this, this is Fund 12 Water Fund. We're fixing to end of the year at 330,000 roughly. If we bake in a 9.3% increase for next year, we would end up at 429,000, which would be roughly $4,000 over our fund policy of being within fund policy at 15%. We do know that we will get an increase for water rates from the city of Lawrence every year. So we tried to bake that into this number. And then this would get us to true fund policy.
Do we have an idea of what that number on average is going to be every year?
Usually I would say it's anywhere from 8 to 10% is
Okay.
what it's been trailing.
We're assuming 9.3 for this, for next year.
Bring me up to speed again, trying to remember. So water, we do have the municipal cost index.
We have it for all.
Now it's for all,
Yes.
even wastewater.
Yes. So then if we go through Water Administration Fund 11, it's really pretty much standard. No real changes, just baking the 5%. As you get to Fund 12, the water distribution, if you come down to line 4999, other capital outlay, I put in $10,000. The reason I put that in there is for an engineering study. Spoke with the guys at BG. It's a study that we can use that most people that are with grants would accept for us to submit that would make us eligible. One of the things is that with some of these grants, they wanted engineering studies. Well, we hadn't completed one, so we figure it's going to be anywhere from $7,500 to $10,000. So that's why I baked that number in there, and then that way it would make us eligible to apply for some of these grants. But outside of that, on that one, nothing, just the normal 5% changes. Fund 13 water line, pretty much the same. No big changes.
Yeah, just point out the water treatment fees. We reflect the increase we expect.
Correct.
From city boards.
So as you look at that, as Matt was saying, line 2490, the water treatment fees, you'll see where the increase is for that. So we wanted to go ahead and bake that number in.
What's the main reason for having it jump that high? Do you know?
That would be a question for the city of Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I mean, they're, last year they said, the cost of employees and equipment and stuff like that had increased. So that is all for the water fund itself. Wastewater Fund 18. This is the fund that I think is in the most need of immediate help. We're forecasted to end the year roughly at $33,773. We are at the end of next year. This is with me figuring in an 8.5% increase. At the end of next year, we would be at 78,601. The minimum, the fund balance at 15% is 239,000. So we're a good ways away from meeting that.
Where on here do you have the MCI baked in? I was trying to see it on the water. I can't see it. Is it just the final number?
It's just the final number.
Okay.
Yeah. So we put it as 8.5% is overall.
Yeah.
Is how we bake that.
Russ, real quick, you had said 78,601. Did you mean to say 87?
87, yeah.
What is it?
87, 6.
87.
87,601. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify, make sure.
So you guys have any thoughts on how to close the gap on reserve policy shortfall? Franchise fees are obviously.
So the franchise fees are already maxed. So I can't really do anything.
Right, but transfer them out to general is a knob. Thing
Correct.
that general's doing, so it's.
So it's like a double-edged sword is
That's one thing that can be done.
correct.
Another thing is obviously a rate increase to cover
Correct.
some of it.
Yes.
And do we have any idea on like the cost per gallon? Or per, say if we needed to close the gap to 15% minimum, what's that delta? 87, we needed at 230,
So
90, it's about.
but let's just say 150,000. You're looking at 150,000 on closing the gap.
I'm not saying we do this, but just the rough math is if we needed to generate another $150,000, we need to charge it in the rate. And do we know per gallon how much that would be? You know, is it?
See, that's the question, because as one of the issues that we run into, you can look at what customer usage is, but then at the end of the day, when we have a rainfall event here in town, usually we go to treating 250,000 gallons of water per day when there's no rain. If we have like an inch or 2 inch rain, we're over a million gallons a day that we're treating. So one of the things is that we've really tried to work on with our staff is we're going to be doing some smoke testing later this summer to try to identify cracks in the lines, water infiltration of any source. So we've been going around in Cameron, the sewer mains. We have a certain amount of sewers that date back to the 20s and the 30s that are the old clay tile. So I know that's kind of a long answer, but that's one of our issues to figuring it out.
Well, unless we stop inappropriate runoff, that's what we do about it.
There's nothing we can do.
It's outside
Yeah,
of our control. So
correct.
either we try to do something about it, or we figure out how we're going to handle it when
Yes. Yeah.
what's going to happen. So I'm not advocating changing rates to get a $150,000 incremental.
Yeah.
But if we're not comfortable with 90K, and I may be, for this fund, we may want to tick them up enough to get some more in there, and maybe it's one of those. It's
Yeah.
really related to the general. See how the general's doing sales tax and all of that. If we're doing better than we thought, there may be some leeway there and stopping the franchise fee transfer at some point where we feel we're comfortable in where the general fund's going to end up. So.
Yeah, because as you look down here on individual revenues, franchise fees, I mean, that we're budgeted to take in looks at 91,000 for 27. That's based on that 8.5%, but
And that's
that would
big enough rate increase to and you're showing a $55,000 reserve year-over-year increase. So
correct.
Yeah, that's pretty
maybe
good.
just and then if you have a catastrophe that you need to use the reserve, you got to borrow it.
You're gonna yes.
I'm just throwing things out there,
Mhm.
for everybody to think about. They're not comfortable with that reserve. How would you do it? If we're comfortable with it,
Correct.
let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, because you could potentially turn off the franchise fee, like you said, but that one does affect the general fund. So we just have to kind of, like you said, see where sales tax and all of that lands. We're basically halfway through the fiscal year, so we'd have a good overall understanding of where we would be, and I think that's something that we would look at Budget and Finance Committee to try to make some recommendations to kind of bring back to council.
Yeah. And with the franchise fees, it's not all or nothing. You can
Right.
you can scale it however you want to.
Half of it.
Yeah.
Turn it on, turn it off.
I bet there's a sweet spot.
Yeah, but I think everybody just needs to be comfortable. Are we okay with shooting for the 90,000? Um, and obviously, it's gonna need another 8.5. I mean, if you look at the 3-year plan,
So the 3-year plan was that we talked about at the beginning of this year, back in January and February, was that we truly needed to do a 24% increase. So we decided we'd break it up into 3/8. But we were, from where we were budgeted, we're still kind of, we're with the 8%, we're still falling behind where we had anticipated for that. So
your costs are going up
because the costs are going up
faster,
faster
than
than
you anticipated.
correct.
Right?
Yes.
So I think we're just gonna have to stick with it
Do we
until we get there.
Yeah.
has there ever been any diagnostics by us or Baker to figure out how much water and what it would take to reroute that from coming to the wastewater station?
I think that's something that they're going to be definitely looking at when we do the smoke testing, later.
Because if that's a big cost savings, I mean, if we're not treating rain runoff, that might help us get it over the finish line a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Russ.
And then as far as the, Fund 11, the wastewater administration, that pretty much stays the same, the 5%, and as well as the kind of the treatment and the collections, is kind of where that ends.
But did you guys keep the ratio, admin carry for all the utilities the same that we had? We didn't change the percentages.
Correct. And then you'll see in here, the last page in here in this packet is Fund 28 Special Highway Department. So a lot of these are, this is based off of what we're getting for, fuel tax and those kinds of things. So these are kind of the estimates that we had gotten from the state on that.
That's the last page.
It's the last page, yeah. Like Fund 28, it's the Special Highway Department.
Mm-hmm.
What are we planning on doing with that money and that's in the special highway department?
So basically, what that goes for is our, chip and seal, is where that money ends up going.
And this is funded through, you said a lot of it's fuel tax.
Yeah, fuel tax or road tax. Yeah.
Is all of it? Is that where all of it comes from?
Matt.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that, right? Yeah.
State, county,
State.
distributions. That's all, they give us a heads up on that about a year out. So we know what the estimates are going to be. There's no, I've never seen them give you more than they say.
Yeah.
they're going to.
And this is under the general fund.
No, this is
No.
fund.
Okay.
It's right.
Because wasn't there a line item for
Yeah.
chip and seal?
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's in
so what
both.
I do, I baked in a little bit extra into that fund
Okay.
because I can't bake it into this one.
Right.
But yes,
Okay.
correct.
So yeah, I wish that's what it cost.
I know, I really do, because that's the main thing is that we are, the Public Works Department is really struggling because to keep up with chipping and sealing the roads, and every year the price has increased year over year, and so we need to to try to help us get caught back up.
Okay. But I'm guessing the brick streets in 2025 you have 203,000, 26 you have 168. That's the sales tax, right?
That's sales tax stuff.
How come it's not in? How come there's not a forecast for 26?
You're not planning on spending anything.
because we're not planning on spending anything, because the plan was is to let that grow.
So it's since we did the downtown, it's okay.
Yes.
Got
So
it.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reload it,
Got it.
and then
Yep.
that way.
I'm just trying to make sense of the numbers.
Yeah.
I apologize for missing the first 15 minutes. Can you give me a 2-minute overview of general fund?
Okay, general fund. So one of the things if you go to the first page, 01 general fund, you'll notice that the ending fund balance for 27 is 268 or 286,973. So one of the things is that we have tax credits for the community center, and so based off of that number that we have for the tax credits that we could sell this year. And if we don't have to sell them all in 1 year. We can take up to 10 years to sell them. But if we were to sell our tax credits and say we were to get 85% of that money back, that would figure us getting $385,776. So that actually would bring us up to an ending balance for the 27 budget of $672,749. And so we would roughly be, if you look up at the top on the fund policy at 15%, we'd be about 13,000 off. So we would, by doing this, we would make tremendous strides in getting that general fund back where it needs to be. So
Why wouldn't we do them all this year if we could?
So if we could, we will. It all depends on if we have buyers, and we don't want to sell them at you want to sell them at 8. From my research and talking with people, you want to get 85% or more. Usually the norm is 90%, but I'm just planning a little bit less. But if we can't get that, then we wouldn't. No matter what, we'll be able to sell some of them. But hopefully we can sell them all. If we can sell them all, we'll move forward with that. But that wouldn't transpire until we would pretty much start that. I'd start that process here pretty quick, but we wouldn't actually start selling them until into October, into November. Once a lot of the business owners figure out like what their taxes are and what they could and couldn't do to help them out. So.
So sound like you were targeting 5% pretty much across the board by fund.
Pretty much.
So I guess that leads me to believe, obviously, that the payroll increases that everybody asks for, because that just takes care of our normal 2 + 3.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
No incremental.
Correct.
Then we did 15% for health insurance.
And 15 for health.
15 is baked in for health. Yeah.
It's kind of normal.
It's kind of the norm. Yeah.
So I want to get my head around that. All the salary schedule increases, no change to those.
No, not with.
We'll bake in 10,000 for the two fire positions to make them.
Those as needed positions that if we raised it up to 20 an hour, we could get 2 that had committed to us. So that way we could get our ISO rating up and drop everybody's.
Potentially.
Yes.
Right.
And hopefully drop everybody's insurance.
Thank you.
Real quick, sales tax projections. We're halfway through the year. What are we tracking at?
Thank you for bringing that up.
No problem. I'm always gonna ask.
I wanted to show off.
Sweet.
So hopefully this, and again, this is through June. So this is about as updated as we've got. City sales tax is the first one here, or not the first one, but the first one we'll look at. So we are projecting 382,507 after 352,630 last year. We are anticipating more.
And we are budgeted for what did we project?
300 and 382,507 is what the projection is.
That's what the projection is for the rest of the to the end of the year. But what was baked into what could be potentially left over if we exceed what we projected?
Then you build the budget on like 3% year over year for.
This one's got the for next year. Yeah.
No.
26.
What? Yeah,
What was the original projection for 26?
correct.
I don't think you did any more than 5. I thought it was less.
I think that's probably about right.
I was
So
going
yeah.
to say it was 5.
Yeah.
So where we determined to end up at. What's that?
That's kind of I want to know what the delta would be there.
So we're 10.6% above previous year to this year. 55% of budget through June.
It's about $1 million.
Our projection versus budget, we're up 13%. So
It's a little over $1 million that goes in the general fund from sales tax. If I remember right.
total would be, let's see, where's the other one? County sales tax, 840. So it'll be over $1 million.
Yeah.
It'll be almost 1.2.
Okay.
Just that. I'm projecting it'll be about 1.2.
So if you're 10% over your projection, that's $100,000 that you have extra. Got it.
That's good.
The county tax is not growing as much. You can see it's only 1.3% over the projection, and it's the big one.
Mm-hmm.
So, it not that I'm saying city sales tax isn't just as important, but it's growing much faster than what you get from the county.
So you built this budget based on where you think we're going to end up at 26.
Yeah. So these projections are what we use.
5%, or you.
It was, let's look at it. We can pull it up. $2.5% for 2.5% for the city sales tax. 2.5 for the county sales tax is what's in the budget stuff. So for 27. So that's probably, and that might be high on the county side, low on the city side. But again, I assume it's going to wash.
It's still at 2.5. It's not aggregate, right? Because it's still a 2.5% total sales tax year over year.
Yeah.
They both growing 2.5, which would be lower than we did at 25 and over projecting 26. So that's very conservative.
Yeah.
I think we might be better off. We might see how the reserve's doing in the general as we get into the year.
Right.
We always do.
You thinking wastewater?
I'm thinking multiple things. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, just gives you some options.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one. If we're trying to shore some things up.
Yeah.
Give you some options, or just leave it in general and get closer to your 25. Right? That's just 15% is the minimum.
Right.
But at least it'd be nice to have some options.
Yep. I mean, the more you got, the more you can give the departments more things they need and all that.
I know the presentation's a little clunky, but is this sort of closer to what you were hoping for, Scott, with a new dashboard?
I think it was Peter. I'm just he was leading the charge, but yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, closer. Yeah, and we'll talk about it, I guess, during the finance meeting, just if there's any.
Yeah, I have to stare at it a little bit since I was later. Look at 'em.
No, I mean, again, I'm planning on doing this as a correct me as we go along.
Yeah, phase in approach. Yes, exactly.
And again, I admit this is a little on the clunky side. I'll have my boy wonder.
Looks fine to me.
I'll have him play with it so it's a little prettier.
One last question, one clarification. Top page, general fund. Revenues by category, line number 3, use of money and property, 156,000 is budgeted. I'm guessing the majority of that is interest from the, yes, okay.
It's called the investment.
That's
It's the
the
investment
the
account.
rotating 4 accounts, right? The every year, one of them, yeah.
CDs.
The CDs.
I hate it.
Do you have that broken down for, and I don't want to get on a tangent here, but the difference between the money that we get from the CDs versus the actual money that we get from property, use of property?
Right here, if you look up.
Um,
Lease city property, we got 14.5 last year. And we're just projecting budget. I don't know. We can probably that we might need to bring that down some, but as you can see here, interest pretty good last
Got it.
year. It's about the same this year, so we could probably tweak that up a little bit as well. Yeah, this lake lease Kansas Wildlife Park thing. I have no idea what that is. I know you got a big check. Got a big check at the end of the year last year from the state for about 5,000, but it's always had a $1,000 budget. Scott, do you know any idea what that might be at the state?
No, I've never seen that.
Lake, I think.
I've never seen that.
Seen that.
Never seen it.
Oh.
Trace that back.
Is that Douglas County Lake?
It's coming from. It comes from the state of Kansas. So
from the state of
it-
Is that back when we had the rights to Clinton Lake and the water, and then is that a leftover old relic?
I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I don't think wildlife would be in there.
who processes those? Because it's coming from the state. It's probably a wire, so it's probably Josie, right?
So it'd be Josie.
I'll follow up with her and see if we can figure out what it is.
Because if you're leasing part of a lake, that would mean you're claiming rights to water.
It feels like some kind of.
And now that we go through Lawrence for treatment and all that, everything shifted when the Lawrence bought up all that. So I think that might be a relic. But you're right. Why would it be Department of Wildlife?
That's what confuses me on it.
I mean, maybe like set aside, they pay farmers, and if you make your lake property public, keep it public, they pay you to do that.
Okay.
The only I would guess is that there's some revenue in there, but I have no idea.
And again, that 5,000 came in one payment last year. I want to say it was later in the year, but I could be wrong about that too. But anyway, there's no payments this year to justify bringing it back up to that level. It's usually, if you look back through the history on that line item, it's a couple $100 here and there over a couple times a year, not a big $5,000 check all at once. So I have no idea. And there's been nothing since last year.
Josie will know.
Yeah. And I'll play around with the put together some scenarios for the franchise fees too.
Nine minutes.
All right. I think that's it for the budget meeting.
Done.
Hey, real quick, I want to apologize to the council and everyone here for being late. I'm sorry.
Excusable.
Well, no, I don't know where I had 7.
I'm
And-
late too. That's
Oh,
what
You know,
it was
I'm sorry.
5:55, and I just looked at my wife and I go, I think I got to be there at 6, and I just bolted. I barely got here.
it's just, I apologize
No, I
to the
think
council and everybody. That's
I forgot about
not
it.
happen again. So,
I had the wrong time as well.
yeah. So I guess we take a short break before we convene again for the
Yep.
council session. Get everything covered.